So welcome everybody. If you don't know me, I'm Shane Studer. I'm the head of contractor engagement here at Cornerstone Marketing Solutions. I came from the distribution side a couple months ago. So I've worked for York, I've worked for Baker, and I've worked for an independent as well. And so me and Jonathan were talking, and he's like, "Man, that'd be really cool if we could team up." And it just luckily happened, and here I am. So I know I don't talk to you guys that are already customers with us much because I'm out, trying to reach other contractors. But I appreciate y'all coming. I met Johnny on LinkedIn. He's the Yelp rep, and we just started chatting. And once again, I didn't know what kind of relationship we had with Yelp. I know Yelp is one of the services that is on everybody's website, reviews and stuff like that. And so I just wanted to ask Jonathan, should I continue talking? And he's like, yeah. So we ended up becoming a partner with Yelp. And over the past month, me and Johnny have just deep dove into Yelp. I've brought real issues that some of my friends that are contractors have had with Yelp. And we've just discussed everything under the rainbow about Yelp. And so I want to introduce Johnny. And we're going to go through the slideshow. I would love for you guys to ask questions in the comments, any type of stories, anything that we need to talk about. That's what we want to do today. So thanks so much for being here. And here's Johnny.
Yeah, thanks, Shane. It's been great getting to know you and Jonathan, getting this partnership up and rolling. And, so for myself, I've been with Yelp for almost 12 months now. So almost a full year. March will be a full year. I've got 16 years, I guess now, experience with digital marketing, working directly with, several different home service businesses. And what was exciting to me once I got involved with Yelp was to see just the end of the funnel of just, converting a person needing a plumber or heating and air, needing that type of service and instantly connecting with the business. So I got fired up about it, and I've been with the company for a year now. So I put together some information today to walk through, go over what the partnership means. As a matter of fact, I'm going to share my screen right now, and what this partnership means. How this, what's the benefits to Cornerstone clients and working through Yelp. And so this coming across okay on your screen there, Shane and Jonathan? Got it? Good deal. All right. So let's jump into this right here. Because a lot of times people will ask me, well, what's the difference of me running my own Yelp program versus going through an agency? And so right here I have on the screen, these are the big differences. The fact that, Cornerstone gets our assistance in our platform and our tools, things you're going to see today that you would never have this depth of information as an agency gets. And so through this partnership, we'll walk through several of these items today. And again, like Shane said, chat into the box there. I know Shane's gonna keep track of the chat. And Shane, as we're going through this, any type of interaction you have, anything you want to add, you and Jonathan just jump in. So we'll walk through these things. To get things started, I want to put some perspective on it, right? How does Yelp fit into the whole digital marketing strategy for your business? So when we look at this, relying on some information from ComScore, we see here from November, 77.7 million monthly unique visitors. And so looking across nationwide, there's a tremendous reach available right now. And it's been building year by year. And matter of fact, like I said before, Yelp fits into the whole overall mix, right? And right here, this demonstrates the mixed share of Google and Facebook users along with Yelp. And then if you've done any type of searching on Google, and I know if you're looking for your business or seeing how your competitor's doing, or maybe you're looking for your own different type of service, you'll notice almost in every situation when you're looking for the best or the top, those types of words related to a service, Yelp traditionally, in almost all markets, will rank either 1, 2, or 3. And so organically, since Yelp's been around since 2004, there's a tremendous amount of SEO juice, so to speak, that's right there with the Yelp listings. And for a lot of businesses, this is a great way to kind of circumvent Obviously, you want to rank high on search engines using SEO, but definitely this is a great way to jump in front of the competitors and get into that top category list. And we're going to go deeper into how you rank at the top of Yelp as we go through our conversation or presentation today. Along with that, Yelp users, those 77.7 million unique users per month, they value Yelp as their number one source of making a decision of what type of business they're going to contact, because that's the whole purpose of it. You're not going to Yelp to do to watch a video or to do research or connect with people over social. You're going there to make a decision. So we're getting traffic from the Yelp app. We're getting traffic from Google. And we're also getting a lot of traffic from partnerships that we have across some of these platforms and businesses. Apple Maps, Siri, Alexa. Whenever you're using voice search, it is pulling data from Yelp as its primary source to make a recommendation back. This also goes along with all the latest new in-dash screens in these different models of vehicles. So these are all being used. And we talk about voice search, how it keeps increasing more and more each year. Recent study came out in June. It was looking at how people are using, which type of devices, what they're using for voice search, and how often, daily, weekly. And we can see here, if you're using voice search, they're typically, it's over, 50, 75% of the time, they're going to these different devices. And what's the purpose? It's to call a business. The number one reason they're doing a voice search is to get the information to call the business or visit the website. So these things that Yelp is using to build up more and more intentional traffic, it's led to looking at how, again, Yelp's fitting into everything. Yelp ranks number 52 of the top 100 sites. There's clearly millions and millions of websites out there, but it is the number one directory, and it's the only directory in the top 100 sites. And so when we look kind of at some big names that consumers use and reference, more than the New York Times, almost at Netflix, almost there, but not quite. But definitely it shows you the power of what's going on through this. And that's what I wanted to demonstrate for you, is to show you that this is definitely a space that you want to make sure that you are prominent and you're dominating your local markets. Now, Yelp users, as far as who those people are, here's our demographics. Your classic Yelp user, the making buying decisions, are female in their mid-40s. If that fits your demographic, as far as who's going to make a buying decision or who's going to be an influencer with your services, this is a great space for you to be. And those who are using it are very, very deliberate. I mentioned earlier, nobody's going to Yelp to watch a video, typically, right? They're not going there to watch a do-it-yourself, I should say. They're not going there to chat with their friends. They're going to make a decision. And you can see here, they're very deliberate and intentional. So 1.6 minutes going to 2.2 different pages. That's your typical Yelp user. So all that to be said, this is a great spot for people who are making decisions. And when we look at home services overall, we look at home services over 2021, over 250 million different searches and page views on Yelp in 2021 for home services. 96% went with just looking for the service that they needed. They didn't have a brand in mind. And 97% make a buying decision. And so, matter of fact, almost over half on the same day. So they're very intentional. They're looking for who they want to find. And then give you some perspective over several years. I wanted to bring up this graph here, but I'm going to take a breath. Shane, so far, Jonathan, so far, is this lining up to what you guys typically see as far as home services and how Yelp would be a good fit just to be in front of those folks that are using Yelp?
Yeah, so
absolutely.
For me, and what I want, all of our clients to understand, this is for a lot of you, like you've never heard me really talk about Yelp in the past. It's never been part of our business model, but I will tell you that from really the time that kind of we went through the shutdown with COVID, Cornerstone has taken a completely different approach to how we want to go to market for our clients, right? So we understand that, for instance, I've got a client in just outside of Los Angeles, in the Valley, but his average install is almost $17,000. Right. But I've got clients down in towards Miami in the southern part of Florida, and their average install is $5,500. All right. So putting the marketing plan together to hit their goals, because what every contractor we talk to, every client we talk to, it's like, hey, hey, what'd you do last year? What do you want to do this year? Come up. Oh, we want to go from 2 million to 3 million. We want to go from 6 million to 8 million. They know that number, but they don't understand the right strategy or what it's going to take to get there. And quite frankly, we didn't have the right approach in the years past, but we clearly know now it's not about, it's so much more about the exact numbers of our clients' businesses, right? Like we need to know what those average installs are. What are those, what are your close rates, right? What is your overhead expenses? We need to know these numbers so we can reverse engineer it. So where I'm getting at here is we look at everything from how many booked calls do we need for any particular month. That's what we call a lead. It booked. You put it in Service Titan, you put it in House Call Pro, whatever you use for dispatch software, you book the call. So now I tell my clients, I don't care where we get the leads from, right? We want to get leads. We want to get good leads. We want to make sure that they're booking. So if we know we use Google, we know we use Facebook, we're going to use TikTok, we're going to use YouTube. Well, guess what? We're also going to use Yelp. Right? Because we need a certain amount of leads each month. And if Yelp can give us those leads, we're going to use those leads because we know that you need a certain number of leads to hit your goals. And the other great thing that I know Johnny will get to is I really like how when the demand goes up, the cost goes down.
You stole my thunder. How dare you?
There's no other platform on the planet, folks, that does. I won't say anything else. You don't even know what I said. I'm going to be quiet, but so go ahead. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you're not a numbers person and you don't like looking at stats, I'm going to apologize right now. I'm a numbers freak. I like to be able to look at the trends. I want to make decisions based on facts and not feelings. Yep. And so when I look at this, so this is since 2019, and we can see that this search trends month by month, right? In the month of January,
look at January of 22. We're already above where we've been.
Yeah.
Starting the year.
Already above 2021, which 2021 March 25 million searches and page views in March of 2021. So we think we're heading in the right direction there. Now, when you look at what Yelp users, when you kind of start breaking out home services, what are they searching for? Well, when I look at the top 100 queries, which by the way, you would not get this information unless you're going through Cornerstone. You can't get this on your own. You can't look in the back end of what people are actually searching for in Yelp. Cornerstone can. So as we look at this, again, our top categories as far as how this breakout goes, 11% plumbing, HVAC, almost 5%. And of course, there's other categories that are in here, but these are the two that we see just high conversion rates in the leads. And we're going to keep on digging into this as we go. So when I look at just plumbing searches and page views since 2019, once again, we're already above 2021. 2021 stayed very consistent throughout the year. And we all went through the pandemic when it first came out, February 2020, and you can see it just plummets, but it built back. And I know you guys all lived through that. But so that's another thing I like about this is that these aren't fairy tales. We all have our own stories of what went on. And we know what went on with your business and what happened to other businesses. And so happy to say we're heading ahead of pace with plumbing. Same story with HVAC. With heating and air, we're above where we were in 2021 at this point. And we spiked and we peaked out at June. The highest number of searches and page views on Yelp is June of 2021 last year. So we're ahead of the curve. We're heading in the right direction. And for you guys on this call today, you're doing heating and air conditioning, this is a great space to be. Now,
Jonathan stole my thunder. Oh, he got me. This is the coolest thing. Can you go back to the other slide real quick first?
yep.
So, with Google or any other paid ad type situations, demand goes up, cost goes up, contractors are fighting to get to the top, all those top level leads, right? During that, say, June. Well, the cool part with Yelp is demand goes up, but to be honest, there's not as many other contractors fighting for those leads. So the demand goes up, the cost per lead goes down.
Yeah. And that's absolutely right. The first time I remember I was talking with Shane, we're going through the back end of everything. He was like, what do you say? Hold on.
You say that again.
Like, how is that possible? I'm like, well, it's supply and demand. The supply keeps going up, demand's going up, but you only have so many folks that can take the leads. So the lead cost goes down. And now this is what we've seen year over year. And matter of fact, here's some, if you look across all businesses and categories that are on Yelp using it for leads, these are your average your average lead cost throughout the year on these different verticals, different categories. But that is true. So and this is why I get excited about it. I think about at the end of the day, why is it good for your business? If we just look at the numbers, it's booking jobs, and there's a lot going on. As a matter of fact, Yelp makes it so simple. I know you guys are probably familiar with Yelp, but the users, they win. The person who's using Yelp, this is why they use it. One, they have a need. Then they're just going to go do a quick search. As a matter of fact, like we've already seen, they're loyal to themselves and not the business. 96% of the searches do not have a business name involved. And then once they find the company they're going to work with, they make a buying decision. Not to make this a bromance or anything, but this is the quote of the year that I've seen anybody already in 2022. The quote of the year, Shane, I'm on a mission to put trucks in homeowners' driveways. I'm like, brother, that is spot on right there. So, but and this is why this is working so well. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to walk us through what it would look like for an actual search, and we're going to point out some differences. So you're going to get it behind the scenes, like these pro tips of how and why Cornerstone is the way to go to take care of this for you. So quick search here. I pulled up earlier, heating and air conditioning out of Plano, Texas. You can see there's, this is just, if I'm a consumer, they can click in for pricing estimates, or they can start looking down here below. And so I wanted to show you, this is the search results page. There's about 21 different companies that show up on page one. And so as you look, it's broken out in two different sections. One, you have sponsored results. So quick answer is, how do you get to the top of Yelp? You advertise. Now, there's some nuances to that, but you advertise. That's how you get to the top, because below is what Yelp is our organic results. This is what we call all results. So there is a possibility that your business profile on Yelp could appear twice on the first page. Now, of these 10, they're at the top. There is a ranking criteria, and here it is. Number one is we want to make sure the Yelp user is served first. So the results show up based on their search location, where they're located, the category they're searching in, and their own personal usage, their own history based on what they've done before on Yelp. So there's the criteria is number one. Number two, again, like I said before, it's sponsored results. Up the top 10 spots on a Yelp profile, on a Yelp search page, is going to bring back advertisers. And here is the criteria that separates like who's 1 and who's 10. Number one is available Cpc budget. So your cost per click budget, how much budget is available to generate a click at the time of the search. That's the first criteria. Two is your click-through rate on your own individual business ad. How often people are clicking through once you're on the screen. And third is a complete and relevant content of your profile, making sure your profile is fully optimized. And we're going to get into that here in a second. But there's secret sauce. Now, this is the thing, again, going back to Cornerstone, how's this advantage to you? Well, number one, How do you know how much to invest? How do you know what the competitors are doing? We're going to dive deeper into this here in a few minutes, but Cornerstone's only have the ability to look into those things. And the click-through rate, well, just like any other type of digital platform, if you're not the first, I would say 3 spots, maybe 4th, you're probably not getting a click-through. So that click-through rate, the percentage of time people click on you as you're seen, what goes way down the further you're down the screen. So the last part here is all results. The all results page is an organic spot. It doesn't get a lot of traffic. However, to how are you going to rank in there? Number 1 is location to the user. 2 is the history of secondary action. So how often are people making an action on your page? You know, what's turning into a lead? And then 3rd is having complete and relevant information on the profile. Shane, any questions? Anything you think I need to clarify more? Did I get too complicated on that?
No, I mean, if you look at it, there's 3 ways to get to the top, and what's number 1 is figuring out how much should you spend to help put that up. Also, the content, right? That's what we're going to do. We're going to be the pros on making the right content for our customers, and then that'll provide click-through rates getting to the top.
Absolutely. So let's kind of give you a look of some differences here. I've got a free profile to the left, and I have an enhanced profile to the right. Now, you can set up your own enhanced profile. That's possible. You can pay for that, but I'm going to show you why you need to go to Cornerstone here in just a second. So the free profile, Yelp gives every business that it can find that's out there listed and you can create your own profile, a free profile. Yelp will let you do that. And you can put photos up there and your website connected and all those great things. But what's also going to appear on the free profile is Yelp's going to do a call out to the consumer that says, hey, reach out to similar pros, start your request right here. And then they put a big giant banner there, see more top rated, right? And then also you may also consider these individual businesses to talk to, because these are our advertisers. And yes, absolutely. These see more HVAC pros, start a request. These are all going to advertisers. So the enhanced profile, something you could do on your own as you get that set up. You've got to pay for it, but you can have their competitors' ads removed. You can also set up business highlights, something to, at least when they're landing on your page, I call this playing defense. There's an offensive way to do Yelp and a defensive way to do Yelp, and you need to do both, or you end up like my favorite team, the Oklahoma Sooners, lose a lot because they're not playing defense, but it's coming this season. Anyway, so that's what's going on here. Now, what's the difference when Cornerstone jumps in, right? When Cornerstone jumps in and they're going to work for you, you can see there's a lot of different activity that's happening on this page. Matter of fact, I had to scroll down more to get it all in. But there's 10 points. There's 10 points that Cornerstone's going to be able to put in place for you. It's putting in a logo, making sure you have a request a quote messaging going on, a strong call to action. Yelp Connect, we're going to deal with this here in a little bit to kind of talk about how to broadcast you out there. Verified license, portfolios to show your business and really help your page stand out. You can control the order of your photos. As a matter of fact, they can even embed video into your photos that you can't do on your own. So this is something that's a special thing that only Cornerstone can do for you. Of course, remove the competitor ads and then really just fully optimize this page with all your services. And all of this is so important because at Yelp, we know you get about a 40% higher conversion rate to a lead whenever you have all these factors in place working for you versus just that free profile. So Shane, Jonathan, anything you want to add to this before we move on to our next information?
No, but basically everybody that's got a free profile, you're getting creeped by advertisers. So why not come with us and then we can creep on your competitors' websites, right? Yeah. So
that's part of that.
It's a two-way street, right?
That may be a blitz. All right. So let's keep on going here. So it all works better together. Have the enhanced profile, but make sure you have Cornerstone working for you. Now that's that making sure once they land on your page that you're going to convert them to leads. But we got to use the ads. Remember, ads puts you at the top of the page. We got to use the ads to drive the traffic to your site, to your profile. And so you're gonna get a lot more visibility. Now, where these ads appear, again, we know we've already talked about this. They appear at the top of the page. You can also show up on your local competitors' pages when they have a free profile. But this third point, I think, is crucial. And I'm going to show you another example as we keep going for this. And I just mentioned it again. It's your investment strategy. If you know what's going on with your competitors, you're going to be able to make a better decision on how you should invest, right? And so they're going to be able to help target to custom radiuses. They're going to do a lot of keyword targeting. And what I think is most important is design it based on your profit centers of your business. So if let's say you do plumbing, HVAC, and water heater installs, you can run separate campaigns for each of those. And you can even designate the type of lead you want to have coming into you. So that having that professional campaign management, having somebody like myself who's working with Shane, who has access to the information as well, and looking at multiple other companies can help provide and put together the best strategy and eliminate things that are not going to be working for you. So I wanted to touch on those, as well as Cornerstone can use theme ads. They can have you show up at the very top of the page, even above the sponsored results. So special offers. And before I jump into this, Jonathan, anything you want to add so far? I'm going to show a big difference of what goes on versus maybe somebody running it themselves and going through Cornerstone or an agency partner like that. Anything you need to add right now?
No, I mean, the main thing is, for anyone that's on today, and I see some that, we run Facebook ads for, the automation that we have into place there. We will be tying in our automation to these leads here in the very near future. So we want to automate this, make sure that, that we're responding to that lead immediately, and that there's a follow-up process if we're not able to capture that lead on that first phone call. So we will be building that out because, again, we want Yelp and these leads to be a big lead source for what we're going to be doing in the future.
Yeah. So here's the scoreboard, right? Now, these aren't it's not your business, but I wanted to give you a glimpse of what it could look like, for other similar businesses that are going through a partner here. So first shot we have here is looking at a free profile versus an advertiser. Now, this is looking at in the California area. They're in Linnmore. They do heating and air. You can see over the last year, a free profile, they had 39 leads. Well, okay. But somebody right next to them, the town over, same service area, using Yelp ads generated 521 leads in the same time period. When you're looking at what goes on, here's some big board examples of what's happened from before and after scenarios. Plumbing, this client here, plumbing client, they went on board with their Yelp partner. They started in September. Since then, almost a 1,700% increase in customer leads. Big jump. Another one, HVAC. Once again, same thing. September 30th, 503 customer leads since September. So big adjustments of what's happening for them, making a huge difference in their business. This one here, I love it because, I grew up in East Texas. I lived in Oklahoma City for a long time. This is Shawnee, Kansas. This is a suburb of Kansas City. And you can see 82 monthly leads, 82 leads a month on average, plumbing, HVAC, water heater installs. So that's a big number. And then kind of, I think what tells the story the most is check out, this is a plumbing, heating and air, water heater install out of Houston. And you look at their dashboard and you can see, well, there's a slight uptick, once they started using ads. That's what's in gold versus before. They were getting some traffic hitting their page. But the difference maker is one thing to be seen, and then there's another thing to show leads. Mm-hmm. Almost 850% increase in leads since moving over to their partner. So it wasn't just being seen and people clicking on. That's a great separate, to me, there's your enhanced profile. There's your fully optimized profile at work in changing like immediately what's happening to their business. So two more here, and we'll move on to the next section. I wanted to show you, this is for a long time. These guys have been with their partner, their agency for 2 years now, 2 years straight. And so if it wasn't working, they could have stopped. And then finally, this is a super, super competitive market there in the Phoenix area. Plumber, last 30 days, 476 customer leads generated. Hands down. And matter of fact, for this one right here, I can tell you, they've let me know that this has become their number. This is, as of it's been for several months now, their number one way to generate a job is coming through Yelp. And that's for all platforms. Now, we talked about those types of leads earlier. Many ways we can count those: phone calls, request a quote, website interactions, and but you can determine what type of leads you want to get. And then so next thing, before I jump into this, Shane, anything you want to touch on there before I jump into Yelp Connect and what we're going to do once they visit their page?
No, I think those are just good graphics showing, when you're actually optimizing what you're doing, what the lead flow can look like.
Absolutely. So Yelp Connect, this keeps your customers coming back. This is the Yelp form of so-called social media interaction. It's obviously one of the things I love about Yelp is directional. Somebody's looking to hire somebody. With Yelp Connect, Cornerstone's going to be able to now broadcast you back out to your customers and those Yelp users that are already interacting even on competitor pages. And so this is how this is set up. It's a retargeting ad. And it also, so it'll show up on their profiles. You'll have updates from your business on your profile. It's being sent out to the Yelp app for users, as well as emails that go out. And so this is all free traffic because it's being pushed out to the public, and then they're able to click through back through to you. No charge for the click back, no charge for the lead, nothing coming in. So this is totally going forward. Again, it's going to do direct follows. People have followed your page. Those who have interacted on your page have made a decision to contact you or went to your website. They've done some kind of action. And also geo and interest. So it's being targeted to your local area, and it's also targeting competitors, customers as well. So as they're coming through and they're interacting on their pages, you're able to broadcast to them. So it's a great tool to use. It's something that we would definitely recommend using, and we'll talk about those on a one-on-one type of level with you and Shane. But that's how we're just getting you out there. And then there's a few special other things I want to show you, some special tools that Cornerstone gets that you couldn't get on your own. And that has to do with some different features and some tracking. So call tracking, it's free through going through your partner, going through Cornerstone, you get free call tracking. And this is if this is either Yelp using a phone number we would generate for you for the phone call tracking, or it's call tracking you can use through Cornerstone as they're doing call tracking for you. Shane, anything you want to speak about on this piece here in particular, as far as how you guys are equipped to do that?
Yeah, we're obviously already doing call tracking for all of our customers, and that's what we talk about every month. And we would just add that into our software, and once again, just add another page. So right now they've got, if they're doing Google ads or Facebook ads or just organic, they've got different pages for calls, and we'll just add another page for Yelp.
Awesome. All right. Also pixels, right? So once they click through to your Yelp page and they click out and go to your website, for those who are you going through Cornerstone for your website, pixel tracking is part of this. Jonathan, I hadn't had a chance to talk to you, so I hate to put you on the spot. Is there any things that do all your clients need to have a website through you, or is there additional things you can do to help track this click coming from Yelp to their website?
Yeah, so we build or manage or maintain all of our client sites. So definitely we want to drop that pixel in there. What is the what all is the capabilities of the pixel? Is there anything that we can drop that pixel anywhere else to make sure that we can retarget anywhere outside of the website? If they do hit the their Yelp page, can we retarget anywhere else?
So these are more like attribution pixels, so that way they can determine where the interaction's coming from. So perfect. Obviously, Yelp counts a lead as a website click. That's counted because the consumer's so far down the funnel, right? They're so far down the funnel already. If they go to your website, we just want to be able to help show their attribution.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
So we will definitely, be able to integrate that pixel into the site. Not a problem.
Awesome. Very good. Now, this is something I've alluded to a few times in our talk. Part of the things that Shane and I do, and it turns into like this, this geek fest of looking into the data. And this is where Shane first discovered, like, wait a second, you mean they're actually, the lead cost goes down? So without going into all the details of this, I just wanted to show you that they are getting access. Cornerstone gets access into Yelp's data, something you could never do, these Yelp performance analytics, to look at your average competitor in the local area. Now, I can't go into individual names with Cornerstone of a business, but I can definitely, show them this is what you need to do to dominate your local area based on your you as a business owner, based on your desired goals. Absolutely, Cornerstone can put together a strategy based on what you want to achieve using real-time data coming out of Yelp. Shane,
if you would just take your cursor over to like average CPC spend by competitor. Just pick one like in the green in the middle there. So the average is like $850. So to dominate that area, wherever that is, we'd want to be about $1,900 a month. Okay. Right. Now, if the one below that, the average spend is $7,007 to dominate 10,000. So we know that's obviously probably a bigger city, right? So, but we can literally drill down. I don't remember ever being on a call with Google saying, if so-and-so in Plano, Texas spends this much money, they're going to dominate, in those searches and get those leads. So just another amazing part of this partnership is we really know where the competition is in spending. Huge.
Yeah. And also you look at those different lead costs, right? I mean, this isn't just looking across a nation, it's looking into that market. And to be able to know that wherever this market is here, they have 22,000 searches that happen in December. They're at under $25 a lead, right? So, I mean, we're able to really get into those. And of course, we'll do this with anybody as they're using the ad program through you guys. Now, again, I've been working for 15, 16 years in digital marketing, and the insight to data that Yelp is able to pull out, it's astonishing. Once you are going through Cornerstone and you're doing your ads with Cornerstone, at that point, then we're even able to look at who the users that visit your page, but don't make a decision and go to competitors. We're able to know where they went to a competitor. And we're also able to know of those who went to a competitor, how many converted into a lead for that competitor, and vice versa. We could look at your competitors and reverse engineer to see how you show up. These are some of these things, like it's going to the next level of strategy, not just ad spend, but what happens after the user leaves and seeing exactly what's going on there. These are some of these things that, again, if you want to dive into the matrix, and of course, you don't have to do this. This is everything that Cornerstone is doing for you. But I just wanted to show you some of these so that you can have the confidence to know that they have the resources and the people in place to make sure you're getting the best results at all times. So, and yes, you do get a dashboard. You get your own dashboard, just like today. You have a Yelp dashboard that's going to give you high level data to look at your own program And then of course, Shane and Jonathan and team will be able to take that deeper dive and manage this for you. So
yeah. And the one thing I wanted to say there, Johnny, is everybody on the call, Yelp has an integration with our dashboard. So we'll actually be able to pull all of this data directly into your monthly dashboard now. So where you go daily to look at your stats and your information, you're going to be able to see all of your Yelp information right there in one place.
That's awesome. Yep. All right. So that's the plan is to take all the resources that you get through Cornerstone, put together a plan, put it in place, and start booking jobs, get those trucks in the driveways, right? So the next step would just to be able to set up the time to meet with Shane and team and go over, how it looks for you, dive into those numbers for looking at your competitors in the local area and make some decisions there and start getting, turning things around for you. So I'm just going to I'm going to leave it right here. Shane or Jonathan, any other questions, anything else that we need to address based on y'all's relationship with Yelp and how we can best help your clients?
So the only thing I would say, we have one of our account managers, Jeremy, on the call. Jeremy, if you'll drop the link in the chat. So for any of the clients that are on the call right now that have not had the opportunity to go through our spreadsheet strategy that will help us determine how many leads do we want to forecast or do we feel is forecasted to hit your 2022 revenue goals. And remember, it's going to be based off of your average install, your average service ticket, your overhead expenses. We're going to plug all that in, reverse engineer it, because we need to figure out, how many leads are we currently getting now? How many additional leads do we need to get from Google, from Facebook, from Yelp? That's where we're going to start really planning this out to make sure that we hit your goals. So it's down in the chat. So anybody on the call who has it, I think there's a total of 6 questions, 8 total blanks because you'll put in your name and your company name. But once you submit those questions, myself or someone from the team will go ahead and fill out the spreadsheet, and then we'll hop on a call to kind of figure out, let's strategize, right? It's definitely not too late because we know that almost all of us are in the shoulder season right now, unless we're like Dimitri up in Washington, D.C. that's on the call, and it's probably snowing worse than it is here. So, but for those of us that aren't as fortunate, that we're in the shoulder season, this is the perfect time, right? Like March, we're getting ready to start doing our spring maintenance calls. And then, April, May, we're getting ready for the heat coming back. So let's get this plan in place and figure out, because we got the 80-20 rule, all right? Your 80% of your revenue is getting ready to come up over the next 5 or 6 months. Let's make sure that we hit that and make sure that we've got the right marketing verticals in place. We've got the right ad spend in place so that we can hit your goals. That's all I got. I want to thank everybody for being on the call. I want to thank Shane and Johnny for your time. And, we're looking forward to this partnership, and we're thankful for it.
For everybody that's scheduled for this call, we actually have numbers polled if they're interested in those as well for their local area. So
Perfect.
we're ready. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, guys.
All righty. See y'all.